Welcome back, Bison Nation. My name is Charlotte Davignon,
And I'm Jack Higgins.
and tonight we'll be taking you through campus, local, and national news. Stick around. On October 20th, in Morro Bay, the Marine Mammal Center received reports of cries coming from the water. The sounds were coming from a 2-week-old sea otter pup that had become separated from its mother, which is a dangerous situation due to the fact that the mother cares for its pup up until they are 9 months old. With the help of Morro Bay Harbor Patrol, staff secured the pup, which they nicknamed Caterpillar. They used a recording of its cries to search for the mother by boat. For nearly 2 hours, they circled the bay, replaying the sound over and over again until a female otter finally appeared and started following the boat. Once the team felt sure she was the mother, they placed Caterpillar in the water, and the otter swam straight over, grabbed the pup, and held onto it tightly. Our reunion was meaningful as southern sea otters remain a threatened species, with only about 30,000 or 3,000 left along the California coast. Each successful rescue helps protect the fragile population.
The North Dakota Farmers Union has donated $500,000 to the Great Plains Food Bank, supporting the organization's Harvesting Hope campaign to build a new statewide distribution center and expand food access across North Dakota. Farmers Union President Mark Watney said the contribution reflects the strength of the group's membership that is made up from family farmers and ranchers. The organization has had a long-time partnership with the Great Plains Food Bank, including a donation of 35,000 pounds of pork earlier in the fall.
Downtown Fargo's newest and largest public parking is now officially open. City officials celebrated the grand opening on November 14th. This garage is a 7-level structure that is going to be a part of a larger $60 million development that will include a 6-story apartment building. The ramp includes 6 enclosed parking levels and a top floor that offers a 360-degree view of downtown. Drivers enter through the automatic garage doors that close behind them, and then a QR code is required for re-entry on foot. This system is designed to stop loitering and vandalism. Construction began in 2024, replacing what had been a surface parking lot.
President Trump has signed an executive order demanding the full declassification of all remaining files connected to the Jeffrey Epstein case. The directive instructs federal agencies to unseal documents that include travel records, communications, and names of associates previously kept from public view. Trump says the American people deserve complete transparency, while critics argue the move could trigger political fallout and reignite national debate. Agencies are already preparing for a massive information release that could have widespread impact.
NDSU is celebrating its 51st annual Harvest Bowl, honoring top farmers, ranchers, and ag business leaders from across the region. 25 NDSU student athletes are receiving scholarships as part of the tradition. This year's Ag Business Award goes to Carl Larson Sr. The event includes an awards dinner and the Harvest Bowl football game at the Fargo Dome, where the Bison face Northern Iowa.
The Fargo City Commission has voted to relocate the Downtown Engagement Center, a move that has sparked major community debate. The center, which provides showers, laundry, lockers, and health services for people experiencing homelessness, will move from its current downtown location to a large warehouse at 2001 First Avenue North. The vote passed 3-2, with city leaders saying the new site offers more space, a safer layout, and room to expand services. But critics argue the new location is far from other key resources, including the library and Salvation Army, making access harder for those who rely on daily support. The center will be renamed the Resource and Recovery Center, with a 2-year lease costing the city $350,000 a year. Private donations will help fund the renovations. The city says it will use the next 2 years to evaluate whether the new model improves outcomes for Fargo's homeless community.
Broadway Square in downtown Fargo is getting ready to kick off the holiday season. The community is invited to gather for an annual lighting of the 32-foot tall Christmas tree on November 25th at 6 p.m., a tradition that marks the official start of winter festivities in the city. Families and visitors can expect an evening filled with holiday cheer, and thousands of lights will illuminate the square, accompanied by live performances, seasonal treats, and a variety of activities. Organizers say the event is designed to bring people together and create a shared moment of celebration. The Shield Skating Rink and Skate Shack will also open for the season during the event.
Fargo officially opened its first Quick Star on Thursday, located along 25th Street, making it the company's first expansion into North Dakota. Guests can expect to see a variety of fresh baked goods, dairy products, and produce. A second location is expected to open along 45th Street in December.
North Dakotans should expect to see full SNAP benefits for the month of November. However, the effects of the government shutdown likely will linger. Approximately 56,000 recipients received partial SNAP benefits with the end of the government shutdown earlier last week. Folks should expect to see their full benefits shortly. Stick around for Bison Spotlight.
My name is Becky Parker, and I'm a news anchor at WDAY TV. I graduated from NDSU in 2010 with a degree in journalism, broadcasting, and mass communication technologies, and then I had an emphasis on broadcasting. Principles of broadcast production and advanced broadcast production. Those were favorites because they were the most relevant for career experience. You're calling people for interviews, you're writing an article. It doesn't just feel like an assignment, it's like actually doing it. I was the news director for the first full semester of the Bison Information Network. The BIN advisor here was very much invested in me to actually have a career in broadcasting. He helped me get my internship and my first job. The people in NDSU's Department of Communication are really interested and helpful in getting students the connections that they need in order to get a job beyond school.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
Hello and welcome back to the Bison Information Network. I'm Kyler Allen.
And I'm Zach Arndt.
We're here to bring you the Bison Spotlight, your place for everything and anything arts and entertainment. NDSU's performance of Handel's Messiah is coming up on the first weekend of December. The event will have multiple choirs and an orchestra ensemble performing the oratorio. Messiah will be directed by NDSU's own Dr. Dwight Gillick. Performances will take place at First Lutheran Church and start 7:30 p.m. December 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tickets are available on the NDSU Performing Arts website, and admission is free for any NDSU students, providing they fill out the website's Google form.
The following weekend, NDSU's Festival Concert Hall hosts the annual Madrigal Dinner, an evening of great food, chamber singing, Renaissance-flavored comedy, and features the Bison Information Network's own Henry Raddock as the new court jester.
And looking ahead to next semester, the big musical production of the year, The Sound of Music, has been cast. Rehearsals will soon be underway as this classic musical comes to NDSU. Next up, we have recently released movies. Zach, take it away.
Last week, we talked about The Running Man, and since its release, it's gained a Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 66% and a 79% audience ratings. Some pretty good scores overall. Over on IMDb, the average user score is a solid 7 out of 10. With a week since its premiere, these scores still have room to wiggle, and as it continues to reach audiences worldwide. With a budget of $110 million and an earnings of $19.5 million in America and a $30.5 million total worldwide, Running Man is a surprising financial failure.
That's right, Zach. And in the opposing corner, we have Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Despite having a worse reception from audiences, it fared much better in the box office on opening week. On a budget of about $90 million, it earned around $25 million in America and $79 million worldwide. Still not yet making back its budget, but much better off than Running Man. Since November 14th, Now You See Me has accumulated a critics rating of 60% from Rotten Tomatoes and an 82% from audiences worldwide. Over on IMDb, the average user score was about 6 or 7.
Wicked, For Good will be released on November 21st, but due to its staggered release schedule, early audience reviews have poured in from select countries in Europe and South America. The results? Overwhelmingly positive for Wicked Part 2. We have an 88% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a certified fresh rating of 97 from audiences. Over on IMDb, the average score was a 10 out of 10. Very impressive, and based on the first film's financial performance, Wicked, for good, is expected to entirely outperform the first film's efforts.
On the note of upcoming releases, November 26th will bring us a limited release of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. It's the third film in director Rian Johnson's Knives Out film series. The movie will show in select theaters for a limited time, with a wide release coming to Netflix on December 12th. In true Knives Out fashion, it features a star-studded cast locked in a diabolical murder mystery plot. The film stars Josh Brolin, Glenn Close, Josh O'Connor, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Thomas Hayden Church, Jeffrey Wright, Noah Segan, and Daniel Craig as the titular detective Benoit Blanc.
In addition, we have Zootopia 2 also releasing on November 26th to theaters worldwide. This continuation of 2016's Zootopia follows Judy Hopps, played by Jennifer Goodwin, and Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman, in a buddy cop plot pursuing a new character, Gary D. Snake, played by Ki-Bi Kwan, throughout the inner workings of the massive city of Zootopia.
Finally, we have the film Eternity. This romantic comedy follows Elizabeth Olsen's character Joan as she enters the afterlife. Joan ends up forced to decide between who she'll be spending eternity with. Her first option is the man she's already spent an earthly lifetime with, her second husband Larry, played by Miles Teller. But option number 2 is Joan's late first husband Luke, played by Callum Turner, who died decades ago and has waited all that time for Joan's arrival to the afterlife. Eternity, critics say, is a return to form for the rom-com. The film hits theaters November 26th.
Well, that's all for the Bison Spotlight section, folks. We hope you have a wonderful day and a groovy afternoon.
Keep on chugling and stay classy, NDSU. I'm Kyler Allen.
And I'm Zach Arndt.
And this has been the Bison Spotlight.
Stick around after the break for Sports with Jack and Weather with Henry. Thanks for stopping by.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
One kid, one mentor, plus one moment can unlock limitless potential. 30,000 youth are waiting. Be there for one of them. Become a big today.
At NDSU, we're going to teach you about how to work with people. We're going to teach you about relationships with people and how to manage those relationships successfully, whether that's at work, whether that's at home. We have majors in agricultural communication, strategic communication, journalism, and management communication. We have students who have graduated who are doing all kinds of different things, everything from marketing to writing content to development to career coaching. We also, of course, have people doing more traditional things like news reporter or working for TV stations. The faculty members in our department advise undergraduate students. We think that it's important for faculty to develop relationships with our undergrads. We have a advisory board, and that consists of people in the community who are like local business people, and we try to make connections with those people so that literally we know the person that they should talk to about a job. You can't be in the world if you can't communicate. My recommendation is that you take some communication classes at the very least if you can. Even better, do a major in communication.
Welcome back to Bison Sports. I'm Jack Higgins. The Bison football team took on the University of Northern Iowa Panthers last Saturday, defeating them. Here's some footage from that game.
The Bison wrapped up Missouri Valley play unbeaten on Saturday, rolling past the Northern Iowa Panthers 48-16 inside the Florida Dome. NDSU controlled the ball early with a long opening drive, ending with running back Barika Kapenu walking it in from the yard out, and quarterback Cole Payton following it with his own 5-yard run, making it a 14-0 game. Early in the second, Peyton found receiver Bryce Lance for a 14-yard touchdown, and Capano tacked on another touchdown, bringing it to 28-2. Right before half, kicker Eli Ozick made a 46-yard field goal to send the Bison to half, up 31-2. Opening the third quarter, Peyton broke loose for a 64-yard touchdown, finishing the game nearly perfect through the air, 15 of 17 for 212 yards and 74 rushing yards. NDSU's defense held UNI to just 200 total yards, had 58 tackles, and 3 sacks. They also had 2 interceptions on bad passes from UNI quarterback Jackson Daly. Ozick added one more field goal, and second-string quarterback Nathan Hayes ran it in from 34 yards out and topped it off with a flip to give the Bison the 48-16 win. With the win this week, the Bison improved to a perfect 11-0 on the season and complete the undefeated run through the Missouri Valley. They host the St. Thomas Tommies next Saturday afternoon. From the Fargo Dome, I'm Jack Higgins, Bison Sports.
In other Bison sports news, men's basketball won 2 games during the week, defeating Southern Illinois 92-85 and Jamestown 82-67, both at home. In the Southern Illinois game, Damari Wheeler-Thomas scored 24 points, and the Bison scored 16 three-pointers for 46%. Seniors Tay Smith and Marquis Strickland both added 15 points, with Smith making 5 three-point shots in the first half. NDSU led the game for 31 out of the 40 minutes, but the second half was an entertaining back-and-forth battle. On Wednesday, they defeated Jamestown, marking their 4th straight win. Marquis Strickland had 22 points, and junior Noah Feddersen scored 20. NDSU shot 58% from the field compared to the Jimmies' 45%. Andy Stefanowicz and Wheeler-Thomas both had 5 assists for the Bison, and Feddersen made a perfect 10 of 10 free throws. They travel to Jonesboro, Arkansas next week to face Jacksonville State on November 26th and Arkansas State on the 28th. Volleyball won last Saturday against Omaha 3-2. The team pulled a reverse sweep after falling early 2-0. They won 3 straight. With their win, they improved to 15-9 on the season and finished with a home record of 11-2. It marks the most home wins since 2003 for the Bison. Bailey Randall totaled a career-high 17 kills, and Ariana Blom had 13. NDSU wrapped up regular season play in South Dakota on Tuesday, falling 3-0. They finished the regular season with a 16-10 record and earned the 4 seed in the Summit League tournament. They face 5-seeded Denver on Sunday in Brookings, South Dakota. That's all for Bison Sports. Here's Bison Overtime and for a deeper look and weather with Henry.
The top 25 this week, we're not going to do our top 10s because they're the exact same. So whatever top 10s you see, that's what our top 25 is. So we agree on the top 10. Bison, Bobcats, Grizz, Tarleton, Lehigh, Tennessee Tech at 6, Harvard 7, UND at 8, Youngstown at 9. Yes, they should be ranked above Illinois State, and yes, they should be ranked in the top 10. And then Illinois State rounds it out at 10. We don't have the Jacks in this poll. You had them in at 25.
Yeah.
I didn't have them in at all. That's why Central Connecticut's in there at 25 because they're going to win a league and they're going to be in the postseason. Lafayette stays in there at 23. Dartmouth is in there at 22. South Dakota, they're going to probably stay at 18 there. So I don't know. Any big shockers? I would say I wouldn't say so.
No, it's South Dakota. I wanted to move them up, but I can't because they lost to Lamar.
Yeah.
You can't move them up, and this is our last kind of bittersweet. It's our last poll of the year because the regular season's over.
Again, Greg Haley, give us votes, please.
Yeah, please.
That's all I ask. Look at these polls compared to everybody else. Give us 2 votes.
Look at ours.
We can share one. Who cares?
Yeah.
We'll take one. Doesn't matter.
Hello, NDSU, and welcome back to another day of weather. Happy Friday, everyone. 40-23. We're seeing some cold today with mostly cloudy skies, but we're seeing some sun. Precipitation at 0, humidity at 58, and wind at 9 miles per hour. And going to our rest of our week on our 6-day weather report, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we're seeing some warmer temperatures than what we've been seeing in the past few days. 51, 52, and 46 on Monday, with mostly cloudy to partially cloudy skies, with Monday being clouds. 30s throughout for that part of the week. Now, as we dip into more of our break, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 33, 28, and 25 and 13 on Thanksgiving Day. So if you're staying up here for the holiday, you're getting some cold. Also, I don't know if you saw that, Tuesday we are expecting snow. 33, 21, 28, 17, and 25 and 13. We are seeing a little bit of sun on Thanksgiving though, so enjoy while it lasts. Moving on to national temperatures, as you can see here, we're seeing a lot of changes throughout the country. A lot of the country is becoming a lot more colder, with the only really warm places being around kind of the northern Texas, southern Kansas, middle of Missouri, kind of that area of the country, with the American South kind of more warmer as per usual. But we're seeing a lot of really cold temperatures throughout the country. We're seeing a lot of cool down. And then going on to our snow, we're not seeing a lot in our area. The most we're seeing is in kind of the Rocky Mountains area and kind of the northern Appalachians getting into the Berkshires, Massachusetts, you got New York, upstate New York, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and a little bit of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We're seeing a lot more snow. A lot of light snow. Heaviest is we're seeing a lot more of the heavier snow in kind of like Central California and that western part of Colorado. We're seeing a lot of snow. And as always, precipitation this week, we're not seeing a lot up here as normal. We're seeing actually a warm front kind of come down and a cold front kind of come up from the south. We're seeing a lot of rain near that kind of Great Plains area into the lower Appalachians and into the American South, as well as a bit of rain in southern central California. And that's all I have for weather, national and local, for you today. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I know I'm going to be eating a lot. My family always throws a great shindig. And I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving and, roll herd and go Bison.
Thank you, Henry, very much for the weather. And that's all we have for you guys this week at Bison Information Network. I'm Jack Higgins. Thank you, as always, for watching. And remember, roll herd.